sports coming right at you.
Let's go, guys. Welcome back to High Top Baseball. Guys, Gators stay perfect in these weekday games, man. You know, something we've really struggled with the last couple years. Something we're not struggling with so far this year, man. It's a good Stetson team. Don't forget that team just split with Arkansas last week, right? So this is a good Stetson team. And the Gators have now handled them 3 times this year, man. And none of them have really been any close, right? We'll talk about that here in a minute. But really, really good baseball out of the boys so far. We'll dive into a game recap. We'll talk about some game notes. We'll go through those advanced metrics, talk some season stats so far, and get ready for our weekend series this weekend versus Alabama, man. So really good stuff, guys. Let's get into it. All right, let's start with that game recap from Tuesday night. And like we were just saying, man, Gators beat Stetson for the 3rd time this year. Right? This is a good ball club on the other side out of Stetson. And the Gators have just handled them, right? 12-2, 9-3. Then last night, a 10-1 game, man. Just absolutely taking care of business with the in-state competition so far this year. It's really good stuff. Really, really good stuff, right? Gators out hit Stetson 9-4. And we got some unlikely heroes last night, right? Only Gators with multiple hits in last night's game, right? You had the most anyone had was 2, right? So you had Surwick, Sear, Cole Stanford, and Hayden Yost all had 2 hits last night, right? So no Kyle Jones, no Brendan Lawson, no Cash Strayer, right? Definitely not those top guys kind of carrying us last night, which is good to see. Really good to see, right? I mean, Surwick and Sear with some really good two out RBIs. We'll talk about that here during the game notes. Cole Stanford with an absolute bomb. Hayden Yost with some really clutch doubles. It's a really, really good night at the plate, and you kind of love to see, especially in these weekday games, man, you love to see these guys kind of step up, the unlikely guys kind of step up. So really, really good stuff there out of hitting-wise, right, versus Stetson last night. Number 3 here on the recap, right, the Gators win the crooked inning battle 2-0. Right, we had that big crooked inning there in the 4th inning when we put up 6. Then we put up another 2 runs in the 6th inning. Stetson didn't have a single inning, obviously, right? They only scored 1 run. Didn't have a single crooked inning all night. Really good stuff out of the pitching staff. Bats came out and did their job, man. So win the crooked inning battle there, right? We win the defensive battle, right? Note number 4. Stetson committed 3 errors last night. Gators actually had a pretty clean one. Zero defensive errors last night. Got a couple notes here about some just pretty nice plays, right? Lawson was making good plays. Colt Myers had a almost really nice play on like a slow roller bare hand, kind of a do or die play. So I was really pleased with the defense we saw last night, right? We obviously need to see that kind of continue and become something that becomes a little more consistent. But hey, this is where you start, man. Those zeros in that error column are something we need to see more of. And then the only real note here, player specific wise, is Russell Sandifer, man. Russell Sandifer was absolutely elite last night. He had a 3 innings pitch, no hits, no runs, no walks, 6 strikeouts, faced the minimum, only 9 batters through 3 innings. Absolutely elite stuff. And right, even Sully kind of mentioned it. Hey, I think we've got some good problems, right? Some good conversations we need to start having here. And obviously there he's referencing to Sandifer potentially being the Sunday starter. So it'll be interesting to see how Sully and the guys handle that moving forward. All right, we'll go ahead and jump over here to the game notes. Go ahead and pull those up, right? So here are just some quick 5 game notes from the game last night, man. We outplayed them at every level, right? Like we just talked about during the recap. Absolutely outplayed Stetson on every level. I mean, it showed up in the box score, right? It jumped off the page 10-1, obvious in the score as well. We just outplayed them at every level. Huge nights at the plate, right? For Cole Stanford and Hayden Yost, 2 guys that are definitely not starting every game, right? So it's really good to see the big nights out of both of them. And then we have to take a look at this Cole Stanford home run, man. Shout out Gator Baseball on Twitter. Right, they're going to post this one for us. We absolutely have to watch this home run by Cole Stanford. He hit this ball so far and just absolutely pimped it. We'll take a closer look at the camera just on him, and almost hit that car out there on Hole Robin. Absolute bomb. Just this kid's hitting the ball so well. We've kind of talked about it, man. Is he going to force himself into being the starting catcher? Is he going to force himself into being like our everyday DH, right? When you're hitting the ball this well, you can't just be a backup catcher that's just spelling Bowen once every couple games, man. We got to find a way to get his bat into the lineup, and he's been absolutely swinging it when he's in there. And we're going to take a look at this other camera angle here, right here, man. You can see him just absolutely admire it, pimp it. Nice bat flip right here. 372 feet out there to left field, 106 exit velo. This ball was absolutely smacked. Man, really, really fun to watch here out of Cole Stanford, man. He's enjoying that one, you can tell. All right, jumping back over to game notes. We'll jump over to note number 3 here. Russell Sandifer, potential Sunday role, man. We've all seen Cooper Walls, right? We talked about it in the Monday video, right? I think he's been a little slower to get going than Sully and the guys would like, right? And I know they were trying to kind of fix that in his bullpen leading up to last Sunday's game, and just kind of still struggled there early, right? He kind of turned it around. It's always maybe just one crooked inning for him on those Sunday starts that kind of get him weird. But Sandifer, man, right? Sandifer and Luke McNeely were probably those two names with Cooper Walls that were in contention for that Sunday spot. And we'll talk about it when we get to Sully's post game, man. But he's definitely believing that maybe Sandifer is kind of pushing his hand here, right? Kind of making us have some conversations. And they're good conversations, man. You can never have too much pitching. But kind of forcing that conversation of, hey, who do we want to be that Sunday starter? Right? It's not like we're going to completely remove Walls from the rotation. He'd still be a very important arm out of the bullpen. You'd probably see him throw in weekday games like this to kind of get his stuff back right. But man, Russell Sandifer looked absolutely unreal last night. And we're going to go ahead and pull up a video that Gator Baseball posted on their Twitter as well. And this is a longer one, right? 53 seconds. But it kind of just showcases, right? He's a fastball slider. I think they call that like a gyro slider. Fastball slider changeup. He really only throws the changeups. You'll see it there, right? Changeups to lefties. Right? It's really only a strikeout pitch to lefties for him. So he's fastball. You see it there a little bit again, right? Hung it a little bit on that one. But he's fastball, changeup, slider. And he just had it all working last night. And the slider just making a sword, right? Making guys look absolutely foolish. I think he had struck out 5 through 6. And there you go. Another slider to a righty. I mean, like we said, right? He faced the minimum. Just had absolutely everything working. Remember, this is a UCF transfer. Right, he was a weekend starter for Coach Wallace down there with UCF. Really, really good kid. Right, I think we expected a lot out of him when he came out. So just a lot of fun to watch that kid throw Tuesday night versus Stetson. Man, Russell Sandifer, I think, is going to be a very important arm for this team. Right, we talk about the Petersons, we talk about the Kings. It's going to be finding that Sunday starter, that guy that can kind of eat innings like we see on the Fridays and Saturdays out of our starters. We got the bullpen that can absolutely win you ball games. So if we can find 3 solid guys to start on weekends, man, with the way these bats have been swinging, this is going to be a really, really elite baseball team. All right, pulling those game notes back up. Right, note number 4, an absolute hitting clinic with 2 outs, right? Especially Surwick and Sear, right? They had some really big 2-out swings there early in the game. Kind of helped bust open that 6-run 4th inning we had. But just an absolute clinic, right? I think we had 7 of our 10 runs last night were scored with 2 outs. I mean, that's just really, really good stuff when it comes to 2-out approaches, 2-out approaches with men on base, right? Just an absolute clinic, like we said here. And then something that's going to be in our game notes probably every game moving forward. We're going to talk about whatever it looked like for that specific game. But last night, man, defensively, we looked really good, right? Lawson had some really nice plays at short, right? He had one to his right where he was able to kind of turn, snap a throw over to second, end an inning there. I know Schwartz had kind of a slow roller between him and first that he was able to field and flip over. And then that slow roller kind of do or die play for Colt Myers, right? He bare hands that thing. It's a cold night. Kind of hard to bare hand things and get your grip that quickly on a cold night like that. Colt Myers, absolutely really good bare hand, right? Just a fast runner. Really tough play. But he did everything, absolutely executed there. So, hey, man, no errors. You can kind of see, right? We were making the plays you want to make. Some of these plays probably would have even been maybe hits, right? Borderline errors if we didn't make the plays. So it's not even just like we're just making the routines last night. We made a couple maybe extra effort plays too. So just really nice to see out of the team, man. We got to keep that moving forward. Got to keep that consistent, man. Errors will absolutely kill you in conference play. So really good stuff, man. We're going to highlight it when we can celebrate it, and man, we're going to trash it when we have to trash it. But Tuesday night, man, pretty good stuff out of the defense. All right, sticking with the game notes, we'll go ahead and pull up Sully's post-game press conference, right? And he's kind of highlighting the same things that we had taken down in our notes during the game, right? Lights out Russell Sandifer, really, really good, right? He said here, we're going to give us some tough but good decisions to have on these weekends, right? It's going to be interesting to see what they do with that Sunday slot moving forward. They had a chance to give Bowen the midweek off, right? I think he had gotten hit in that finger on that bunt attempt last week. I think we were maybe wondering if it was an injury or not. Nice to just kind of rest his legs, especially when Cole Stanford's playing the way he's playing. Really good to get Bowen some rest last night. Proud of how Hayden Yost played, right? A guy that doesn't play every day. It's really hard to get your back going when you're sitting the bench as much as Yosty has been. So nobody deserves it more than that kid. Really good to see there. Great at bats from Ethan, from Blake, right? Those 2-out swings we just talked about. Overall, no errors, right? Sully wanted to turn that double play there at the end. All right, nice plays defensively. Nothing to kind of complain about. It's how it's supposed to look. Then he highlights here, right, the 2-out hitting. 7 2-out runs. It's a sign of a team that fights, right? He wants to thank our fans here for coming out tonight. A little chilly night, right? Spring break there in Gainesville. Fans absolutely showed up, right? Nobody better than Gator Nation, and Sully gives them some much appreciated love there. So, and then he jumps over to Cole Stanford, right? He's been productive for us. He's an option at that DH spot. We actually saw AJ Malzone took BP yesterday. Cade Curlin took BP yesterday. Both of them kind of getting ramped back up. It'll be really fun to watch Malzone. All right, obviously Cade's going to slot right back into second base when he gets there. It'll be interesting to see how they kind of move Malzone around. I think he's another kid. All three of these transfer catchers that came in were pretty talented. So it'll be interesting to see Malzone maybe get some reps here. But just a really good day, right? They're getting closer to getting all these guys back to being full speed, right? Not having Curlin's a really big deal. I think these freshmen have really stepped up for this team and kind of taken some of that spotlight away from that Curlin injury. But Cade Curlin's absolutely one of the best players on this team, right? A big leader, veteran presence on this team. So he's definitely going to be needed if we want to make that Omaha run that we're planning to. Next question Sully got here was on Jackson Hoyt, right? Being a viable lefty, right? And during one of my notes I posted on Twitter last night, right? Jackson Hoyt came out looking pretty good, right? And then he hits a batter, and then he, I think, gets to a 2-0 or 3-0 count, right? He gets pretty behind a hitter, too. And you're kind of like, oh, no, man, here we go, right? A kid that's kind of struggled to throw strikes so far this year. You thought maybe the wheels would fall off, and he just absolutely dialed back in. Had some really nice sliders, right? Some swords, had some guys looking foolish. So really proud of Jackson Hoyt, man. I think he had every opportunity to kind of crumble in a situation where, hey, you have to throw strikes, right? You've had a kind of a history of not throwing strikes the last couple of weeks. He absolutely turned it on and dialed it back in. So really good to see out of Jackson. You can see here Sully, right? Could be. Hopefully they can get a little bit more out of Eli Blair as well, right? Then you have those three lefties with Ernesto Lugo Conchola. Going to need some lefty arms moving forward. Then he was saying here we want to get B. Miller out there, maybe enough fourth lefty that we can get some more reps at. So, but then he was saying, right, it's tough to get some guys out there when you're playing weekday games like Florida State and like Stetson, right? He says here Stetson just split with Arkansas. They're a really good baseball team. So it's not like you're playing some cupcakes where you can just run. Nobody's out there, right? These are games where you gotta be pitching your good guys, or these other teams are going to run up on you. The next question Sully got was on the low amount of hits, right? So Sully kind of immediately goes back to those freebies, right? Only walked 1 tonight, 0 in the error column, right? It's nothing to do with reps or fundamentals, right? You can't take your at-bats to the field. And he's kind of talking about how important defense is going to be, right, to this team. And he even tells a story here about Mike Zunino and how he had told Zunino when he was struggling a little bit that, hey, if you just keep playing defense the way you do, right, he's an absolute elite defensive catcher. You keep playing defense the way you do, right, you're not coming out. And I think that kind of confidence boost that Zunino got from Sully of like, hey, you just keep playing defense and you're going to be in the lineup. Don't worry about it. All right, I think that kind of freed him up to have some more confidence at the plate. And he ended up hitting 300 that year. So guys got to understand, right, there's two parts to this, offense and defense, both very important pieces. So pretty cool story there from Sully out of Zunino. Then he talks about going on the road to Alabama. Right, they're going to have a short practice today. They're going to work on some things Bama likes to do, right? Short game. They like to steal bases. So Sully says here, and I'll drop the overlay, they're going to have to do a good job holding runners, right? Something they're going to talk about more. They'll go through the game plan and everything here, what they're expecting to see out of Bama. But, hey, really good night of baseball. We're going to celebrate them when they happen. Really good night of baseball. This team's 19-3 now, playing really, really good stuff. And I think we see that ceiling there, man. Right? It's still early. You got to be playing your best ball when May, June rolls around. It's only March, right? But you can at least see the pieces, right? You can see what's there. You can see the potential this team has. And it's absolutely Omaha bound. That potential, that ceiling's there. All right, last piece of game notes here before we jump through. We will go just QABs from last night's game. Kyle Jones, 4 for 5, right? A rare down night from Brennan Lawson, only 2 for 5. It's whatever, right? It's going to happen. This kid's, remember, he was 12 for 14 or something over the weekend on QABs. Still 400 here. Really good stuff. Serwick, 5 for 5. I mean, just an absolute unreal night at the plate from Ethan Serwick. Blake Sear, Cash Strayer, Colton Schwartz, and Colt Myers all went 2 for 4. Cole Stanford, 3 for 4, 750. Hayden Yost, 3 for 4, 750. was a really good night at the plate last night, right? Jacob Kindle, that one pinch hit at bat. Just a good night at the plate out of the guys. And we'll jump over to our advanced stats here. Go ahead and pull up winning baseball, man. Did we play winning baseball against Stetson last night? You see a game, right, where we kind of beat them in all facets, all levels of the game. You expect to see good numbers here. 625 quality at bats. That's absolutely elite. It's going to win you ball games all the time. Really, really good stuff. And then a really lopsided freebie battle. All right, we won that freebie battle 12-2. We had one walk and one hit by pitch, so just 2 freebies for Florida. Stetson had 6 walks, 1 hit by pitch, 3 errors, 2 wild pitches, right? Pretty sloppy game out of the Hatters. 12-2, really lopsided freebie battle, and as you'd expect to see there, lopsided scoreboard as well. And sticking to that freebie battle, man, we've won the freebie battle 16 times. We've won all 16 of those games, right? So this Florida team's proven you just don't beat yourself, right? We'll see how this kind of continues to pan out through conference play, but hey, so far this year, man, you don't beat yourself, you're going to win the ball game. Even one of the 4 times we did beat ourselves, we won that ball game. So just really important to not be giving away freebies to these really, really good baseball teams. Then you can see here, right, QAB percentage on our wins, we're at 582, really high. QAB percentage when we lose, 445, right? So there's that 500 threshold we like to talk about, we like to shoot for. And then our freebie average. So on the games we win, we're 4.8. On games we lose, we average 10 freebies a game, and we're 5.5 across the season, right? Every game we've played so far, we're averaging 5.5 freebies a game. Got to clean that up a little bit. We've been talking about it. So good stuff, though, man. Hey, this freebie battle is a really, really telling metric on how that game's going to play out. And you can see, man, we talk about it all the time, right? I got that like dumb ChatGPT graphic shirt that I had made, but I'll tweet that anytime we get a freebie, man. Hey, no freebies, right? Got to have no freebies. Got to clean it up. Play good baseball, man. This team's too talented to just be giving stuff away. You play good baseball, you don't beat yourself, you're going to win a large majority of the games that you play. And then last piece of notes for today, when we're talking advanced metrics, we're going to go ahead and just pull up the season QABs, right? So Brennan Lawson still leading the way pretty heavily with 71. He's a 703 quality at bat percentage. When you hear this kid's potentially a 1-1 pick in next year's draft, this is what you expect. Right, you expect a 7. That's just an absolute elite quality at bat percentage. 703 is crazy. Kyle Jones, right? Ethan Surwick, Cash Strayer, all really, really high 500s, right around that elite threshold. Going to be good to get Curlin back, right? He was 622 until he got hurt. Like we've talked about, Caden McDonald hitting pretty well, right? A lot of that order is over that 500 mark, and even the ones that are under are close, right? Even the mid 400s is a pretty good number. Especially from like these freshmen or maybe some guys that aren't expected to produce as much as the plate. So overall, man, offensively, man, we've been putting up runs. We've been doing what we need to do at the plate. We're playing winning baseball in this aspect. And then I'll drop the overlay here, man. You can see 565 as a team. That's well over that above average. It's almost touching that elite threshold. Which is everything we've seen out of these bats so far this year. All right, last segment for today. Let's talk Alabama, man. We got Alabama. We're going to Alabama this weekend, right? So we got more conference play on the weekend. Couple, notes, right, about this Alabama team, right? Underrated but dangerous. This is a team that won 40-plus games last year. But then coming into this season, right, I think they were ranked 12th in the SEC, had them pretty well outside the top 25 in terms of those preseason polls. So you got a team that's maybe underrated but dangerous, right? That's the SEC baseball, man. If you're not playing one of these top tier teams, right, I think sometimes they get a little slept on, right? They're not a top 10 team, right? The SEC kind of dominates these top 10, top 25 rankings. So you got other of these programs, man, that have just absolute studs, right? They're talented, they're deep, but they're slept on, right? So it's any given day with baseball, man, and you see it. We've been watching these SEC games on weekdays, right? And we'll talk about it here in a minute with Alabama, but you got teams, right? Texas last night, right? Dropped a weekday game. You've seen Tennessee. We've seen LSU. We saw Alabama last night lose to South Alabama, right? Any given day, you don't bring your stuff. We're playing D1 baseball, right? So you got to come ready to go on any given weekend, especially when you're playing conference play. And when we're talking Alabama, right, the first name you talk about is their superstar shortstop, Justin LeBron. Right? He's the face of the team, preseason first team All SEC. Projected to be a top 5 MLB draft pick. Right, he hit 316 last year, 18 bombs, 72 RBIs. He was on the preseason All SEC, preseason All American radars. Right, absolutely facing one of the best players in college baseball. right? Both shortstop this weekend are going to be future MLB players, right? Between Lawson and LeBron. So it's going to be a fun little matchup, right? Because they're not just Justin LeBron, right? They're Alabama. You're an SEC baseball team. You're going to be 1 through 9, right? They've got Luke Vaughn, Andrew Purdy, Brendan Holt, right? They got guys that can produce for you, and so 1 through 9, these guys can beat you. It's going to be really big, right? Florida's pitching staff, I think, has been a really big positive so far this year, especially the last couple weeks, last couple games for this team. So, going to be interesting to see if we can kind of slow them down. But go ahead and circle Justin LeBron. All right, circle that kid. You can kind of just look at his box score alone this weekend and see if we won the series or not, right? If we can kind of eliminate him, right? Don't let him beat us. It's going to be much easier to kind of beat this Alabama team, especially because they're kind of on a skid right now, right? They're going to be kind of mad. They're going to be looking to steal something, right? They've lost 4 in a row coming into this weekend against Florida. So definitely a team that's looking to steal some wins. And as we talk about that offense, right, led by Justin LeBron, the pitching not as solid, right, for Alabama. I think they're not viewed as one of those top tier SEC pitching staffs, right? Good enough to win, but not necessarily dominant, right? Not going to be anything that jumps off the page. I think of Zane Adams, a Tyler Fay, right? It's going to be interesting to see, but it's going to be a battle of the bats, right? Can Florida's pitching staff kind of neutralize the Bama bats, and can Florida's bats jump all over Bama pitching, right? It's going to be really interesting to see. It's going to be fun to watch throughout the weekend. So it's very much a prove-it weekend for both of these squads, right? Florida's opening weekend with SEC play, we swept South Carolina, right? Alabama's opening weekend of SEC play, they got swept by Kentucky. So 2 teams kind of in 2 different trajectories right now, and it's going to be a prove-it weekend, man. Very easy for Florida to kind of take them for granted. Really easy for Bama to just be upset on a 4-game losing streak, come out and jump all over us. So you're going to learn a lot about these ball clubs this weekend. And we'll quickly pull up their stats.ncaa.org page. All right, so this is for Alabama. We'll be playing at Sewell Thomas Stadium, a little over 5,800 capacity, right, built in 1948. They're 15-7. They're on a 4-game losing streak. We'll scroll down to here, right? They dropped their opening game 1, much like Florida, right? Lost that opening game to Washington State, came right back out, won the series, and honestly went on a pretty good run, right? They were 15-3 so far going into SEC play, right? And then they just get swept by Kentucky and then shockingly drop one to South Alabama. So there's a team like we've been talking about. They're on a 4-game losing streak. They're hungry to get a win. Florida's going to have to play their best ball this weekend to take care of business here. They're, as a team, hitting 266, right? Ranks 162 across college baseball. Hitting over 1 home run a game, right? So they're hitting for power. Slugging 454, on base percentage 411, right? Scoring 7.5 runs a game. They have a 961 fielding percentage, right? So we kind of talk about all the questions the Gators have had so far defensively, right? The Gators right now are 969. Right, so just 8 points higher than Bama here, but that should probably tell you similar defenses maybe. So who can limit freebies, who can play clean baseball this weekend is going to be a pretty important piece to this series. And just quickly talking through their individual leaders, right? Brady Neal hitting 343. Then you jump straight into this Justin LeBron kid, man. He's an absolute baller. 25 runs, 9 home runs, right? So Lawson, we've been celebrating Brendan Lawson. He's already got 10, right? Justin's got 9 on the other side. So this shortstop matchup this weekend, going to be absolutely electric to watch. LeBron's also got 22 RBIs, 20 stolen bases. Kid's got an elite glove in the field as well. He can do all of it, man. He's going to be a lot of fun to watch at the next level. Expected to be probably a top 5 pick in this upcoming draft. And then they got Tyler Fay, right? He's leading the team with innings pitched, 28.2. He's got 3 wins, and then the Hagen Banks with 3. So, hey, it's SEC baseball time, man. It's kind of what we've been talking about all year, right? You get those kind of warm-up games, right, to start the UABs, Kennesaw States, right? Well, we're in it. We're fully in it. We're playing SEC baseball. A lot of fun to watch, right? MLB players across the field every weekend. It's going to be a ton of fun to watch. Big series this weekend versus Alabama. Gators are playing well, right, but then going on the road. Been on a long homestand these last 10 games or so, I think, something like that. So going to be interesting to see how these boys play on the road, how they handle some adversity up in Alabama. All righty, guys. That'll do it for today's episode. All right, we'll have another video on Monday talking through the Alabama weekend, talking about upcoming Florida State versus on Tuesday. Remember, I think we're planning to do a watch party here on YouTube for that Tuesday Florida State game. So definitely make sure you're subscribed to High Top Baseball. Hit that bell. I'll post announcements and stuff as we start to kind of make decisions, and you'll get those if you have that bell turned on for notifications. if you have a Twitter, right, make sure you jump over, go follow me on Florida Sports Takes. This is where I'm kind of live tweeting during games. I post a much longer game notes list that I just kind of keep track of as I'm watching the game. So I'll post that full list there on Twitter, and then I kind of crunch it down, and that's what we talk about here on YouTube. So definitely go follow me over on Twitter. Hey, we got a good weekend of baseball on deck for us up there in Alabama. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch, man. This team's playing really good, 19-3, right? Definitely some areas to clean up, but not any pretty big gaping holes that I think anybody's seeing right now that doesn't say this team can make a deep run, right? All the holes, all the things we're talking about right now are pretty easy cleanups. Assuming you can just field, right? Defend your position. Don't walk too many guys as a pitcher, right? This team's got all the tools you need to make a deep run, man. It's a lot of fun to watch. Exciting times in Gator baseball, man. As always, guys, God bless and go Gators.